After Jesus died on the cross, his body was laid in a tomb, and then history went silent. For 3 agonizing days, the world heard nothing from him. No miracles. No words. No witnesses. The disciples were scattered, their hope seemingly buried with their master. It's a period often glossed over, a blank page between the most tragic and the most triumphant moments in history. So, what really happened during that time? Where did Jesus go between his death and his resurrection? The Bible doesn't give us a detailed minute-by-minute timeline, but scattered verses, like puzzle pieces, hint that those 3 days were anything but empty. They were filled with profound purpose, not absence. Let's explore what this silent period might reveal about the true depth of his mission. One of the most powerful and widely discussed interpretations is that Jesus descended to the realm of the dead. Now, this isn't about him going to a place of torment to suffer more. Far from it. This view, often drawn from passages like 1 Peter 3:18-20 and Ephesians 4:8-10, suggests that Jesus went to proclaim his victory. Imagine this: the darkest place imaginable, the very heart of death's kingdom, suddenly becomes the stage for the greatest declaration of triumph. He went to announce that sin and death had been conquered, that their power was broken forever. It wasn't a journey of defeat, it was a victory lap. He was showing the forces of darkness that their reign was over. This wasn't just about saving the living. It was about demonstrating that his power extended even beyond the grave, into the very domain of death itself. In this theology, the silence on earth was deafening because the most important announcement in history was being made in the spiritual realm. This idea of a proclamation to the spirits is fascinating. The passage in 1 Peter mentions Jesus going to preach to the spirits in prison. Who were these spirits? Scholars have debated this for centuries. Some believe they were the souls of those who lived before the time of Christ, particularly those who perished in the great flood during Noah's time, who were now being given the news of salvation. Others suggest it was a declaration of judgment to fallen angelic beings. Regardless of their identity, the message is clear. Christ's redemptive work is comprehensive. It reaches across time and into every corner of existence. It shows that no one is beyond the reach of God's message, that the light of Christ penetrates even the deepest darkness. It transforms those 3 days from a passive waiting period into an active, divine mission. The Savior of the world wasn't just resting, he was still at work, completing a cosmic victory that would change everything. But there's another perspective, equally compelling, that offers a more immediate and personal picture of where Jesus was. Remember his final words to the repentant thief on the cross next to him? He didn't say, "In 3 days we'll meet again." He promised, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise today." That single word changes everything. It suggests that immediately upon death, Jesus' spirit entered paradise, a state of blessed rest in the presence of God. This interpretation emphasizes the personal assurance of salvation. It tells us that for believers, death is not a descent into a shadowy unknown, but an immediate entry into a place of peace and joy with Christ. So, while his body was in the tomb, his spirit was in paradise, bringing the first soul saved by his completed work on the cross along with him. This view offers immense comfort. It paints a picture of Jesus, even in death, fulfilling his role as a shepherd, leading the lost and repentant home. It shifts the focus from a cosmic battle to a deeply personal promise of hope and immediate communion with God. So how do we reconcile these two ideas, a descent to the realm of the dead and an immediate entry into paradise? Are they contradictory? Not necessarily. The terms used in the Bible can be complex. Paradise and the realm of the dead, sometimes called Sheol or Hades in the Old Testament, might not be mutually exclusive locations but different aspects of the afterlife. It's possible that Jesus' spirit entered paradise, the realm of the righteous dead, while simultaneously making his victory known throughout the entire spiritual world. Think of it as a multifaceted event. His arrival in the spiritual realm was one of triumph and rest for the righteous, like the thief, and one of proclamation and judgment for others. His presence brought light to paradise and announced defeat to the forces of darkness. So, he could have been in paradise while also fulfilling his mission to the spirits in prison. It's a testament to the boundless nature of Christ's spirit and work. He wasn't limited to one place or one action. In those 3 days, he was comprehensively completing the work of salvation on every level of existence. There's also a deeper theological significance to consider. Beyond just where he was physically or spiritually, the 3 days represent the finality of his death. He wasn't just unconscious or in a coma, he was truly dead. His body lay in the tomb, cold and lifeless. This is crucial because his resurrection would have meant nothing if he hadn't truly died. His time in the tomb validates the reality of his sacrifice. It fulfilled ancient prophecies, like Jonah being in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, which Jesus himself referenced as a sign of his own death and resurrection. This period of silence was a necessary pause in the narrative, a moment for the world to absorb the full weight of what had happened. It was the ultimate demonstration that the wages of sin is death, a price he paid in full. Without these 3 silent days, the empty tomb on the 3rd day would lose its power. The silence makes the eventual shout of victory, the resurrection, all the more earth-shattering. So, when we pull all these threads together, the proclamation of victory in the realm of the dead, the promise of paradise to the repentant, and the theological necessity of his true death, a rich and complex picture emerges. Those 3 days were not an intermission. They were not a period of inactivity. They were the hidden turning point of all human history. It was during this silent interval that the final battle against death was won. The victory was secured in the spiritual realm before the stone was ever rolled away from the tomb. For the world to see, the resurrection wasn't the moment he defeated death. It was the moment he revealed to the world that death was already defeated. It was the public unveiling of a victory won in the unseen depths of those 3 days. The silence wasn't emptiness. It was the quiet, confident work of a king claiming his kingdom. This understanding completely transforms how we view Easter. The resurrection is not just about an empty tomb. It's the culmination of a 3-day mission that spanned heaven, earth, and the afterlife. It proves that there is no place so dark that Christ's light cannot penetrate it, no prison so secure that his truth cannot set it free, and no death so final that his life cannot overcome it. Those 3 silent days are a profound message of hope. They tell us that even when God seems silent in our own lives, when we're in our own tombs of doubt, grief, or despair, he is still at work. His silence is not absence. It is often in the quietest moments that the greatest victories are being won on our behalf. The story of those 3 days reminds us to trust in the process, to have faith even when we cannot see, and to know that a resurrection morning is always on its way. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most mysterious and meaningful periods. If this exploration has given you a new perspective, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that unpacks the deeper truths of faith. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which interpretation resonates most with you? God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.